When old bike riders get misty-eyed talking about the good old days, it's the Jayco Herald Sun Tour that truly brings out the romance and drama of Australian cycling. Keith Rowley, he was the first winner in 1952. In 57, it was the great Russell Mockridge. While the 60s, they were dominated by Barry Waddell with a record 5 wins in a row. The now race director, John Trevorrow, and his great rival, Graham McVilly, dominated the 70s with 3 wins apiece. But the race is so much more than a colourful past. Tour de France winners Sir Bradley Wiggins and Chris Froome, along with Baden Cook, Stuart O'Grady and Simon Gerrans, are recent additions to the honour roll.
Here we go, Chris Froome, the first man to attack.
This is absolutely amazing.
Yet 2017 is shaping up to be the greatest ever edition of the race.
He just builds that cadence up and match him if you can.
Froome, the world's best tour rider, is back to defend his crown.
Esteban Chavez wins the race!
And the smiling assassin, Esteban Chavez, will make his first appearance in the race. And the course, it suits them both. And for all the talk of Froome and Chavez, perhaps it's Simon Gerrans who is the man to beat. This is his home race. He's trained on every road the race takes in, plus he's won it twice before. Could 2017 be number 3 for Gerrans? Hello and welcome to Melbourne for the 64th edition of the Jayco Herald Sun Tour, with the beautiful city of Melbourne providing the backdrop to day one. This is an historic race that has got Chris Froome back to defend his yellow jersey. Phil?
It does indeed. It's paying tribute to the oldest race here in Australia. But Chris Froome chose to come here last year, which shocked everybody around the world, and he followed it with a great season. Now from that, he's come back. I think the fact he's come back, he's here to win.
The course does suit him. It also suits Esteban Chavez, one of the other big favourites.
Yeah.
It starts with a 2.1 kilometre prologue. We then go to Falls Creek, a big mountaintop finish for the climbers. It's then on to Beechworth, perhaps a chance for the breakaway, into the Mitchelton Winery.
Yep.
Looking forward to that.
Very tricky finish there.
And then it's on to King Lake for the final stage. But it's not just Esteban Chavez or Chris Froome who can win this.
No, the Colombians, there's a big resurgence in Colombia now, but I'll tell you, there's of the 15 teams, there are a lot of likely winners in this event.
Let's head down to David McKenzie, who's got some of the favourites.
It's great to be back. So yeah, it's only a short opener today, 2 kilometres. So yeah, pretty intense short effort before we head into the climbs tomorrow.
I love this course. You know, I've done it once, Macca, so to be on the podium, I know that I'm confident with what I can do on this course, and really looking forward to it. The form's great. It's you know, no worse than what it was in 2015, so I'm confident I'll have a good ride tonight.
Today we are in the center of the Melbourne with one tricky prologue. Funny, but also a little bit dangerous. This is right. There's a lot of people here. And yeah, we will see what happens today.
I've won the Sun Tour a couple of years ago, so I'm looking forward to coming back here and racing aggressively with a team that's known to be young and looking for that aggressive sort of racing style, so I'm looking forward to it.
Well, Prologue's hurt, as you well know, so it's going to be over before you know it with only 2.1k, so it's a matter of going out as hard as you can and trying to hang on for the line. So yeah, everyone will be hurting by the finish today.
The course for the opening prologue in the heart of Melbourne, in the shadows of Flinders Street Station. It's 2.1 kilometres at Federation Square. They then head down towards the boat sheds along the Yarra River before making the long journey back to the finish line on South Bank. The main challenge of the course is just how technical it is. One man who knows it as well, if not better than anybody else, is Pat Shaw. He raced it last year.
Quarter Mentha talking tactics. I'm Pat Shaw, and we're at the Prologue today. It's got some wind in it. The disc is going to be a vital part of equipment for this stage. The speed is ferocious down the back straight and around behind the boat sheds. Come down and finish at the Crown Casino. Guys, we're looking for Brenton Jones last year was fantastic. Sam Bewley also, but you can't go past Danny Van Poppel from Team Sky. His form's been exceptional. At Race Melbourne, he was fantastic, and he also showed some good legs at Cadell Evans Road Race on the weekend.
Horsepower and technical bike handling skills the key. Pat Shaw has tipped Danny Van Poppel, who was very good on Australia Day, with a second place finish behind Sam Bennett at Towards Zero Race Melbourne. Jason Christie, the New Zealander, the first man to start with 104 riders in the race.
2 silver medals in his national championships a few weeks ago. There's the tricky start as he winds his way. Nice crowd here. And he'll drop down on alongside the Yarra River.
The first few corners are really technical, particularly coming off the start ramp. Charging through to the finish line, Jason Christie to set the first time. It'll be the best time, but for how long and just how quick it is. Jason Christie, he stops the clock with a time of 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
Well, that's a pretty good start line one there. This is Josh Taylor here from the New South Wales Institute of Sport. One of the youngsters getting away. Early start too for him.
Well, there's a reference point in terms of that time by Jason Christie. Last year's winner stopped the clock with a time of 2 minutes and 34 seconds. You can see Taylor the way he's heavy on the anchors going into that tight left-hand turn. Now it's full throttle through to the finish line for the New South Welshman. Taylor challenging the time of Christie, the New Zealander, with 2:40. That is the time to beat. It's a long way through to the finish line. Slight tailwind, but not having much of an impact as Taylor stops the clock, 2:42.
Yeah, he was riding on the tops of the bars there. It wasn't really a full-out effort. So 2:42 for him. Christie still leads with 2:40.4. Tim Rowe making his ride now for Ice Away.
He's had some good opportunities. He had some time with the BMC team, the team now of Richie Port, formerly of Cadel Evans, a stint at Drapac. He's been in the wilderness somewhat. I get the sense that once we get into the mountains in this race, he'll be back.
Makes full use of that turn now. It's a long way up this concrete strip here on the south bank. He too comes up on the tops. He's pedaling hard. It's looking a little bit quicker than Josh Taylor, but it's not going to set the world alight. He's going to be pretty close to Christie's time, though, 2:40.
He'll be pleased with that. That's a good start for Tim Rowe. That puts him into second position. Simon Guerin's warming up. He's won this race twice before. That was in 2005 and 2006. This is another one of the Kiwis, Alex Frame, riding for JLT Condor, and he is quick.
The whole team, which is based out of the UK, is on good form this year so far. They've had a very successful New Zealand Classic. And Alex Frame here now, he's making his way as we go back to the start house. This is Taco van der Hoorn of the Netherlands.
He had a tough day on Australia Day. He crashed around the Albert Park Grand Prix circuit, but Alex Frame isn't having a tough day. He's having a good day, and he's having a quick day. He'll be well inside the time of Jason Christie, and Frame stops the clock, 2:33. That's faster than the winner of this corresponding day last year.
Well, that was quick, and that's going to take some beating, I think. Frame, 2:33.56. This is now Taco van der Hoorn on course.
The Dutch, they've got a reputation for great bike handling skills, and he dealt with that corner brilliantly. But you can see the bobbing of the head. That's an indication that he's starting to struggle. It's still a solid time for Taco van der Hoorn. He won't be better in the time of Alex Frame, but he'll be moving towards the top three amongst the early starters. And the Dutchman with a throw to the line, 2 minutes and 39 seconds.
Oh, he certainly made it a full effort up that long straight, that's for sure. The crowd now, a nice round of applause for Simon Guerin here, the 14th rider to go. His team deciding to put him at the top end of the 104-man field.
It's a good strategy given the weather can be very variable. So he's got good conditions. Let's see what happens later on this afternoon. Sometimes the weather can change and it can make all the difference. Guerin knows these roads, but normally he's going through here at a gentle pace. On his way to head out training, there's nothing gentle about it today.
No, he knows every second counts, especially with the road that lies ahead over the next 4 days. 2:33.56 is what he's aiming at up the home straight. He can see the clock now, and he can also see that it's slipped away here. He's not going to get the time of Alex Frame, who is watching this from the finishing podium just now. Head down, every second counts. Simon Guerin hits the line, 2:40.1 for him.
It's not bad, but it's not great for Simon Guerin. He's a rider that will enjoy this race as many of the stages go through a lot of the roads that he's trained on throughout his career. Danny Van Poppel about to start.
The big man, a pure sprinter, but he hasn't won a race yet this year, and he's been racing very well. Seconds, thirds and fourths in the sprint races. And now a crack at the time trial. It's going to call for a special attempt down here, I think. But look at the way he's clipping the corners, Matt. He is going the shortest way possible.
He's the son of one of the great sprinters of the 1980s, John Paul Van Poppel, who's been a stage winner in this race and a green jersey winner at the Tour de France. Danny is now bursting out of his father's shadows. He's been a stage winner at the Tour of Spain, and he is setting the leaderboard alight in Melbourne. Danny Van Poppel, the big Dutchman, powering through the line, and he stops the clock in 2:32.5. It's the best time.
It's not only the best time, it's the fastest we have ever seen on this course. But there's an awful lot of riders still to come. He was the 15th man to start here, and there's 104 in this field, including Chris Froome, his teammate. Danny, I thought you were just a sprinter, but that was a huge effort you just made.
Yeah, it was a really fast 2K. How faster, how more it hurts.
No one has ever been quicker over this course.
I see one guy is 1 second slower than me, so yeah, we will wait now, but I'm pretty tired.
It'll be a long wait, but it could be the ultimate wait. It is a cracking time by Danny Van Poppel. This is Joe Cooper, recently crowned New Zealand National Road Champion. He's a strong time trialist. He's been the champion of New Zealand against the clock as well.
And he's on terrific form at this time of the year for him. Looks as though he's riding pretty well here. This is the tricky bend. They want to go quicker, but the corners are so tight. They've just got to make the most as they come off those corners.
He's flying towards the line, Joe Cooper. He's a strong climber as well. He's a man to contend with once we get to the mountains. But Cooper, he will not be challenging the time of Danny Van Poppel, who stays at the top of the leaderboard. 2:36 for the Kiwi. He's happy with it. He's given the fist pump and the high five to a few of his supporters on the side. Simon Gerrans didn't give him the high five, though, in the background. Esteban Chavez, he is Mr. Popular at this year's Jayco Herald Sun Tour. And Chavez is still to come.
Nestled among lush parkland, Melbourne city centre marries exquisite architecture and contemporary design. At the heart of the city is the Yarra River, where the locals come to gather, relax, play and even commute. Victoria's coastlines stretch out for almost 2,000 kilometres, with stretches of sand offering a wealth of relaxing distractions. Travel a little further and you'll discover the beauty of regional Victoria.
The hot seat, Danny Van Poppel in the middle with the quickest time. It is then Alex Frame in second position, Joe Cooper with the third fastest time. And the smiling assassin, the Colombian kangaroo, he has so many nicknames. He is Mr. Popular. Esteban Chavez is on course.
Yeah, so he's not recognised as a time trialist. He's a climber, but he needs to make sure he limits his losses to the other climbers in this race before the big day out up the hills tomorrow. And he's coming up the home straight. He's got himself right down on the bars here. It's not going to be the best time, but it's going to be very, very respectable, Matt.
He's made it pretty clear this is the discipline he needs to work on the most if he's to be a genuine challenger for the Tour de France. Esteban Chavez, 2 minutes and 43 seconds. Not sure whether he'll be pleased, disappointed, or lukewarm on that performance.
Either way, he still smiles.
He always smiles. There he is, the smiling assassin. The most appropriate nickname in cycling, because he wins so often, particularly in the mountains. Travis McCabe from United Healthcare.
Pretty good time trialist, Travis McCabe, composing himself on the count.
Such a strong American team last year in this race. They won a stage in Inverloch with their sprinter Tanner Putz, and they've got some options this year, and Travis is one of them this afternoon.
This team travels the world just in the second ranking of teams around the world, but they always impress wherever they race. Just skimming off the crash barriers there as he heads now towards home. It's a pretty rapid time, this, and he's still plenty of punch as he comes up this home straight.
He won't challenge the time of Danny Van Poppel with 2 minutes and 32 seconds, but he will put himself close to the top three. That final grimace as he sprints to the line, and McCabe stops the clock with 2:36. He squeezes into the top three for now, at least, with Chris Froome still to come.
Well, he's got to be happy with that one. Let's go into the start house. Simon Gerringer's teammate here, Damien Howson from Orica Scott, launches. Good chance here for Damien. Strong man on form.
He's a very good individual time trialist. If it was straight and it was 30 kilometres. The technical nature of this course, as he almost clips the barrier, may not be to Damien's liking.
Yeah, this is the problem. This is such a technical beginning, and then you get that dash up to the finishing line, which is perfectly straight. Smooth pavement here. The time is good, but it's close to McCabe. It's not close to the leaderboard itself. A long way up inside the last 80 metres now. Damien Howson coming home. 2 minutes 38, about 2 seconds slower than McCabe, just off the podium.
A good start, though, for Damien Howson, and confirms what you said, Phil. The form early in the season is good. Luke Rowe. The Welshman, he's been here for a while training. He makes the most of the Australian summer. His big target is the Spring Classics in April, but this is a race where he can genuinely feature.
Teammate Van Poppel watching this on television because he's finished and he sits with the best time from the 15th rider to start. Luke Rowe is a big man who's a workhorse on the open highway, but left alone to race, he'll get close, and it's going to be close to a podium situation here as he races up towards the line. He's aiming for second or third best time, grits his teeth. It's a long way home, Matt.
This must have been where they measured the country mile. That final 100 metres seems to take forever, and Luke Rowe just slipped away a little bit in the end to finish with a time of 2 minutes 36.4 seconds.
And he's in fourth place, just off the podium. Cam Bailey, now let's see what he can do. His team always ride well here.
The ISO Way sports team, this is a team that's been around for a long time. It's produced the likes of Richie Port and Nathan Huss. It's sent riders up to the top level of the sport, and it's one of those teams that all the young, hopeful Australians want to ride with to show themselves to the world. Bailey, this is his first season with the ISO Way sports team, and he's been aggressive so far throughout the year. He's challenging the time of Luke Rowe. He's not quite on target with Danny Van Poppel. Joe Cooper, his teammate, his time is there or thereabouts. Bailey sprinting through to the line, trying to maintain his composure. It's 2 minutes 36.41.
Oh, he's just been shaved by Luke Rowe there, just off the podium. And Van Poppel is watching them come and go. What can Oren Gate, the Kiwi, do for the new team Aqua Blue?
So far, there's been a lot of New Zealanders getting themselves inside the top 10. So I see no reason as to why Aaron will be any different. The Irish team, Aqua Blue, the biggest Irish team that we've seen. They've also got Lee Howard to come a little bit later on, who's a big threat on this course. Aaron Gate quickly through that left-hand turn. Now for the sprint through to the finish line for the Kiwi. He is moving quickly. He looks smooth. It's the sort of team we expect to see in breakaways throughout the week. But at the moment, he's just trying to break the sound barrier with warp speed, but he doesn't quite get there. 2 minutes and 37 seconds.
There's an awful lot of times now, sub 2 minutes 40. And they're going to go out tomorrow on day one, split by 1 or 2 seconds. That's all. This is the selection, and this is the oldest rider in the race here, the great Greg Henderson, another Kiwi and an ex-Tour de France cyclist.
New team for Henderson this year, back to the United States with United Healthcare. Henderson, can he do a time to challenge the leaderboard?
Architecture bounds in Melbourne, from the beautiful parkland at the River Yarra, which goes through the CBD district. This is the place for fun, pleasure and business. And once you leave the centre of the city, you get out of town, you experience some of the famous stretches of beaches and, of course, some of Victoria's magnificent wineries. It's the place to go at any time of the year.
The hot seat, Danny Van Poppel still in the middle, Alex Frame with the second best time, and it is McCabe from the United States with the third best time. This is Robbie Hucker now coming towards the finish line.
This is another good time. It's less inside 240 as he comes up. It's a long straight here though. But like so many riders working away on top of the handlebars, hits the line. 2 minutes 38 seconds for Robbie.
You could almost see his body turn to jelly as he got towards the finish line. Strong climber though, Robbie Hucker. This year's course suits him. Ian Bibby, what a start to the season it's been for Bibby.
Yeah, Bibby's one of the most experienced riders on the JLT Condor squad. He's done just about everything in British cycling, and he really should have made it onto the big World Tour teams. It didn't quite work out for him, but he is still a real competitor, this man. The way he's got off to a rapid start there, now he's fighting all the way up the state. This is going to be a very, very good time, Matt.
He started the season with a win in the Mitchelton Bay Cycling Classic, but his legs fade. He won't continue in the same vein. It's 2:36.14 for Ian Bibby, but still quick enough for the third best time.
Yes, he's going to go up on stage there. And another JLT man having a good ride today. Back down to the start house. This is Anthony Jayco here.
Jayco, strong against the clock, particularly on a short course like this, and brilliant bike handling ability. He's a former Australian Criterium champion, and he looks so motivated.
Well, he's another rider who comes out with the goods. This is the arrival of Jesse Kerrison just coming up the straight here. Kerrison's also on a very quick time. He's well inside 240 as he comes up into our gun sights. Hits the line, 2 minutes and 35 seconds. Another good ride from Kerrison, that.
That pushes him inside the top 5, but not quite inside the top 3. A good performance by Kerrison. Brenton Jones, one of the favourites. He's been second here in the past by just a split second.
He's also been third, and this is the third year he's run on this course here. He knows it, he loves it, he's fired up. The team was saying how fired up he was. He wants the big one, the win. He's still shooting at the time of Van Poppel, 2:32.56.
Bike handling is one of his strengths. He grew up playing around the paddock on a motorbike. Has he been quick enough this time? It is 2:33.45 for Jones. He's less than a second behind Van Poppel. Second again.
Second again, Matt. Oh, goodness me, he knows it. He's not very pleased. Well, let's go and have a look what happens down here. This is Lee Howard in his new colours of the aqua blue.
A multiple world champion on the track, Lee Howard. And he starts like it's a 1 kilo time trial on the track as well. Leans back over the saddle and bursts down the ramp.
That's a good sign, Matt, that he wants a good time out of this course. He's all keyed up for it. Nicely round that bend, swings as wide as possible, kicks off down the straight. This is up by the rowing club here before they come up to the home straight. And it is a good time, and he is pushing the leaderboard, but he's just off the leaderboard. 2 minutes 35.19, Howard.
Good sign for Lee Howard. Chris Froome, the last man to start, the defending champion. How different it is from 2008 when he first came to this race. Second last man down the ramp, Michael Hepburn, the last big hope for Orica Scott today.
Yes, and Orica Scots are firing, but they haven't quite made the leaderboard today. But of course, they're thinking long term. They want to pack as far as many men as they can up amongst it. Hepburn is a known time trialist. He's going at the same at the checkpoint within a 2:35-minute ride here. Now as he comes home, every second counts as he rides towards the line. 2:34, just off the leaderboard.
Fourth place for Michael Hepburn with only Chris Froome to come. And Danny Van Poppel, it's been a long wait.
Well, I think Van Poppel will feel he's won this now. I don't believe Chris Froome can beat him. Froome is now thinking long term. He just wants to not concede too much time to the other climbers. They're the men he'll think about.
But look at how aggressive the start is from Chris Froome.
Bit of a speed wobble.
What we do know is Froome is here and he is super motivated, regardless of the outcome.
Well, he's a great competitor. He loves this race. It set him up for a great year last year. He wants to do the same this year. He's not going to win. His teammate is definitely going to win now, Danny Van Poppel. Froome is just looking for a respectable time. He gets it, 2 minutes 39.8. That'll finish him 26th.
7 seconds slower than Danny Van Poppel, who goes out the winner, but importantly 4 seconds faster than Esteban Chavez.
Now, a sprinter winning a prologue, that must be good.
Yeah, I knew that that I can do this really well, the prologue. So I was really up for it, and I was really focused. And yeah, that you can win, it's even much better. Yeah.
But tactics change tomorrow, I guess. You're not expected to keep yellow, but you'll work for the team, right?
Yeah, I will work 100% for Chris, and I hope to give the jersey to Chris. But yeah, it will be a nice fight with Chavez. He's also in a good shape, so I expect a lot of firework.
Danny Van Poppel making it pretty clear that Chris Froome is still very much the leader. The white jersey for the best young rider, that goes to Aidan Tooby from the New South Wales Institute of Sport. In third place from the British JLT Condor team, their Kiwi Alex Frame, who, like Danny Van Poppel, spent a long time in the hot seat. Brenton Jones, a near miss once again. He's had some close calls on this course. Second place this time around. He's had some close calls so far this season. For Danny Van Poppel, he is bursting out of the shadows of his famous father. He takes the win in the first yellow jersey. Brenton Jones in second, Alex Frame, Michael Hepburn, then Lee Howard rounding out the top 5. In 10th place, it was a strong ride by Cameron Bailey. But as you heard from Danny Van Poppel, the yellow jersey for Team Sky, they believe its destination ultimately is on the shoulders of Chris Froome. For Froome, the mountains await. Stage 1, they head to Falls Creek and will have a big rivalry with Esteban Chavez. All is to race for in this year's Jayco Herald Sun Tour.